Oh, hi guys. Let's do this. Welcome to Nikki's World, guys. I'm Nikki, your host, and today I want to talk about the Democrats' stimulus plan and how they're destroying the job market. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love this podcast show very much, please consider donating a cup of coffee because seriously, guys, for a price of a cup of coffee, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories and more topics to talk about. Also, guys, I do accept Bitcoin donations. I'm also on Patreon if you guys want to sponsor this podcast show. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review, good, bad, and the ugly. And before we get the show on the road, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today. Okay, guys. Today, I want to talk about the dismal job market and the result of the stimulus package that the Democrats have been pushing and why it has created the dismal job market, okay? Recently, guys, if you've seen this article on the Washington Examiner, job disappointment traces back to Biden's stimulus package. Yes, the reason why the job market has basically fizzled and is dying in this country, it's because the fact of the matter is that you have Democrats in this country who are incentivizing people to be lazy, who are incentivizing those to stay at home, not go to work, be dependent upon the government, and want government to be their damn mommy and their damn daddy. That's the problem we have here in this country, guys. We have basically a government who wants who wants dependents instead of workers. And that's what Democrats are doing to this country. They're creating a generation of government dependents, welfare queens, and people who are lazy, who don't want to go to work, who don't want to produce, and who want government to take care of them. They basically want a generation of like government dependents and who want mommy and who want government to be their mommy and their daddy. And that's what pisses me off, guys. That's what really gets me fired up. That's what gets me angry when you see dismal job numbers and you see businesses, both big, small, and medium, who are hammered for workers. But the Democrats in this country are like basically punishing people who to go to work, but rewarding people who are staying home. And that's wrong. And that makes me mad. That makes me angry. That grinds my gears. That literally makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil so much Because the problem we have here, guys, is that we have a generation of dependents. We have a generation of people who are dependent on government, who want government to be their mommy and daddy, who want government to take care of them from cradle to grave. Okay? And I tell you this, one way to get rid of welfare, create a job program. Create incentives for people to go to work. Create incentives for people to be employed, okay? And create incentives for companies that hire workers, that hire people to go to work. The problem here, guys, is that you have government who are incentivizing people not to go to work, who are incentivizing people to stay home, be lazy, watch sitcoms, soap operas, play video games all damn day. It kind of pisses me off. It kind of makes me angry. It kind of gets me like all irritated, all upset that I have to see every business have job ads and not many people interested in going to work. It kind of makes me angry that to see the Democrats like rewarding people who stay at home and punishing people who go to damn work. That's just wrong in my book. That's just wrong. That's just the reason why I am not a fan of the Democrat Party. I am not a fan of our current government in this country. Okay, and to see them like reward laziness and reward people for staying at home and punishing those who are going to work with taxes and all that, that to me is wrong. That to me is why the the Bureau of Labor Statistics last Friday, when they put out those numbers, it was so horrible that even the lamestream media had to double check those numbers. And when it came from the same government sources that these leftists are all promoting about, they basically had a heart attack. They basically like were flipping out. They were like sitting there going, "How the hell can they have job numbers like this when they're all like praising the illegitimate president for doing this and this and this, but then turn around and then you see those dismal numbers?" That's why, guys, the Democrats are ignoring the ugly truth, man. The Democrats are destroying this economy. And by the time 2024 comes around, we're going to have a generation of people who are so lazy that they don't even want to go to work. Even when companies are offering them money to come in to apply and in the interview. That's just sad right there. That's just sad right there. And I tell you guys, it's really sad, okay? It's really depressing when I see this, okay? The problem is like this. This thing all started with the pandemic. This thing all started with the COVID pandemic. That people were forced to stay home. The companies shuttered down and all that. And then all of a sudden, like this, they needed to pump money. The government needed to pump money into the economy. But what happened was, instead of like pumping money into the economy, like basically rewarding people to go back to work, instead they pumped money into rewarding people to be lazy and then sit their asses at home and not show up for work. So this created like a domino effect where government was rewarding people to sit at home, be lazy, collect the unemployment, collect stimmy checks, or collect public assistance, and not even bother to show up at work. That to me, guys, is wrong. That to me pissed me off. That to me made me angry that this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're facing in this country. And I'm sorry to say this, guys. I'm sorry to say this. This is what's destroying this country right now. And we're watching the country and the economy collapse on itself. And this is what the 80 million so-called voters voted for, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. When this is all over and 2024 comes, you're gonna see people fired up, getting angry over what's going on in this country. You're gonna see people like fighting back, saying, "Oh no, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna deal with this. No, we want people back to work. We want people employed. We want people making money." Okay, and the problem is that Democrats and blue state governors are rewarding lazy people and rewarding people to stay home instead of going to work. How is that like a boosting the economy? How is that making the economy great? It isn't. It's making the economy horrible. It's making the economy worse. And the sad thing, guys, it's making the economy look like shit. And it's going to get worse before it gets better, guys. And I tell you this, guys, as someone who works, okay, even though I work part time, I work 5 days a week part time. I work 32 hours, and I still make a lot of money. What we're seeing, guys, is basically our job market going to shit and going to hell in a handbasket because you have Democrats who are using the stimulus package to promote being lazy and being at home instead of putting their boots on and going to damn work. That's what Democrats are like basically that's what Democrats are what promoting. They're promoting laziness over hard work. And then I tell you this, guys, and I'll tell you this. Growing up in the 1980s and the 1990s, I've learned the value of hard work. I've learned the value of making money, okay? Going to work, working either 30 hours or 40 hours a week and making a lot of money. I've learned that value. And the problem is today, the values of the Democrat Party are not the values that I grew up in. And now you're seeing the Democrats rewarding laziness, rewarding being a bum, and rewarding being a leech off the government, which winds up being a leech off of tax paying like citizens like you and I. And that to me is why I'm not happy with what's going on in this country. I'm not happy with the way this country is being run. In fact, I'm not happy that no state or federal government is doing anything to help people get back into the workforce. Okay? They're not doing anything to help getting them into a job. Instead, they're helping them be more lazy, more dependent upon government. Okay? That's why, guys, you see recent court cases, like, for example, there was one court case where a federal judge ruled that the moratorium on like a renter's eviction is is illegal, and a lot of the landlords were complaining that they couldn't evict people because of the pandemic and they weren't making money. Now that the federal judge agreed with the landlords, now these people have to scramble to find work in order to pay rent. That should have been done a while ago. And you know what's the funny thing, guys? And you know what's the funny thing here is that we have a vaccine for this so-called COVID crap. And I and it makes me wonder, guys, why aren't states like pushing the vaccine saying, "Oh, if you got the vaccine, then you can go back to work." Let's see how fast people turn around and try to complain, "Oh, we're not taking the vaccine. No, we're not taking the vaccine. We want to be lazy. We're not sitting home. We're afraid to go to work." You know the problem is also, guys, a lot of these companies are doing this remote work thing, And I'm all for it, but there needs to be accountability. And there needs to be a way for employers to check on their remote workers who work from home instead of working in the office like they're supposed to. Okay? And the one thing that basically gets me angry, gets me fired up, and gets me all pissed off is the fact that you have people in businesses who are having a hard time trying to find work. And I'll give you one example, guys. This one article from the Post Millennial. Local restaurant owners blame Biden unemployment scheme for staff shortage. Yes, we have a staff shortage in this country. We have a shortage of workers because the Democrats stimulus scheme is rewarding laziness instead of rewarding hard work. Okay? That's why the people who are still working are having to work harder, to work longer, because companies can't find people, because as a result, Democrats are rewarding lazy people and rewarding people not to go to work. So this is why, guys, as a result, our economy is going downhill. Our economy is going in shambles. And this is also why, guys, that our economy is going to shit. It's going to hell in a handbasket. And as a result, guys, I am not happy with how the job market is in this country. That Democrats in this country are rewarding laziness instead of rewarding people for going to work. Okay? I mean, I understand that if you have a medical issue, you have a documented physical disability that is documented by your physician. I understand that. And that's where we have government programs to help you. But the problem is, you have Democrats who are rewarding laziness, who are rewarding like basement dwellers to sit at home playing Call of Duty or Minecraft instead of getting their fat ass out of the couch and into the job and putting their damn boots on and going to work. How hard is it, man? I'll bet you guys, if you ever look at all these job ads from places like Career Builder or the other companies, you see that there's a lot of people hiring, but not a lot of people are putting their effort to apply because the problem is Democrats are rewarding people to be lazy and stay at home, which then, as a result, creates a Democrat voter for the rest of their life. And that's why it's like this. If you want to if you want to turn a Democrat into a Republican, create a job program, create a pathway for them to go to work. Okay, create a pathway for them to to have a job. Okay, if there are jobs that require schooling, and I believe in schooling, then create a pathway from school to work. Okay? If you want to create a pathway for people to go to work, and Democrats are all about, oh, funding schools, then instead of funding colleges, let's fund trade schools. Because I tell you what, trade schools are a pipeline from trade school to career. Okay? And yes, there are some places that you need a college degree. I can understand that, like nursing, business, or medicine. Okay, I can understand that. Or teaching, which you are required to have a bachelor's and you have to get a license. That is understandable. But for most, there are jobs that only require an associate's degree, a 2-year degree, and that alone would set them up for a job market down the road. That alone would put them right to work. And that alone would turn a lazy Democrat into a hardworking Republican and a hardworking conservative. Okay? And that is why, guys, that is why You see a lot of employers who are looking for workers. And I tell you this, every time I go to a company that is looking for work, I see signs of come join our team, come join our team, or like we're hiring. But the problem is Democrats. I mean, the problem is, guys, these companies are facing an uphill battle with Democrats who are promoting laziness, who are incentivizing laziness over hard work. Okay? So, this is the problem we have in this country. And this is something that we as Americans need to fix. We need to tell these people who sit on their asses every day to be lazy and tell them to get their asses off the couch and unplug the video game and just tell them they need to get back to work. They need to go to work and start earning a living. They need to go to work, start being productive instead of being lazy. That is that is why you have a lot of companies from small businesses to medium-sized businesses to big businesses who are having trouble trying to find workers, who are having trouble trying to find people to go to work for them. That's why we have this huge problem in this country. And we have a problem of people who are lazy, who don't want to go to work. Okay? It's sad. I'll give you an example, guys. I'm a manager at a company, okay? And the people that come to work for me, I are far and few in between. And those who are new that come to work, don't stay that long because their state winds up giving them benefits and saying, here's benefits to stay home. Here's benefits for this and this and this. And then all of a sudden, you don't see them show up at work anymore. And it's sad, guys. And it's really sad because this is the Democrats' undoing. This is basically the Democrats destroying the economy and the Democrats making it harder for people to go to work. They're incentivizing laziness. They're making people lazy. They're making people feel like, oh, I don't have to work. I can get the stimmies and I can get unemployment assistance and I don't have to work, And then they have this mentality like, oh, government can get me like a Section 8 or a public housing and all that shit. It's sad, man. It just literally pisses me off, man. I'm one of those who work my butt off, who like basically work my ass off every day to get to where I am. Okay. Yes, I've worked horrible jobs. Yes, I've worked jobs that were shitty, were horrible, were horrific. That made me felt like ugh, 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 ugh. Okay, that I had to do it because there was no one else that was gonna do it. All right, and this is why, guys. This is why, guys. I've worked in horrible jobs. Okay, but those horrible jobs gave me skills that no college will ever teach, like work ethic, being on time, producing things. Okay, and producing results. That's something that colleges don't teach. What the one good thing that colleges did teach was critical thinking skills, was thinking outside the box, was learning to think logically that applied to the workforce, okay? And that's something that a lot of these places don't teach anymore. And the sad part is, guys, and this is the really sad part is that a lot of these places, a lot of these blue states are rewarding laziness and they're punishing workers. And the way they're punishing workers is that they're imposing so much taxes. I'll give you an example, guys. Where I worked at before the family medical leave tax, I was making close to $1,000 a week. Now that they have this family medical leave tax, I'm making less and less and less because my company has to pay this tax. And and basically it's saying that we're punishing you for working instead of being lazy and sitting on the government dollar, and being a dependent of the government. It's sad, really, guys. It's sad that I have to see that. Okay, that I have to see a lot of businesses who have help wanted ads, but nobody wants to go to work because you have Democrats who are basically incentivizing people to be lazy, to sit at home and not go to work, not put the effort to apply. Okay, that's why you have states like Florida and Texas who recently got rid of the COVID relief package or COVID assistance, and they're basically forcing their state residents to go back to work. They're basically telling them, saying like this: well, the COVID's over and we have a vaccine, so now you have to, if you take the vaccine, now you have to go back to work. So they're cutting them off completely. Okay, and that's a good thing, guys. That's really good thing, and that's something that I like to see in other states. Okay, but sadly, you won't see it in blue states because blue states are all heavily Democrat held, and the Democrats in my state are basically rewarding people to be lazy, and some of them are even basically like bankrolled by the unions. And that's wrong. That's sad for me, guys. And that really is depressing. That's why, guys, I'm not a fan of like this shit. I'm not a fan of this crap. And you wonder why, guys. You wonder why I don't like the idea of rewarding laziness. I rather reward hard working by giving them tax breaks, by giving them like incentives to work, or even saying like this: we won't tax you if you go to work, or we'll give you a tax break on your property or on your house if you go to work, you know? I sadly think like this, guys. I believe like this, man. Our country is going backwards, okay? We were going forward under President Trump. And now we have an illegitimate president and an illegitimate government who's taking the country backwards. And basically we're gonna be where Jimmy Carter was, okay? We're gonna be where like President Jimmy Carter was in the 1970s. And if many of you were alive back then, you would see how Jimmy Carter fucked up the economy and fucked up this country. And basically, we're going to be at a repeat of where that is. Okay, so that's why, guys. That's why I firmly believe like this. If you wanna get people out of like public assistance and get people out of the COVID stimulus checks, create a job program, like create incentives for them to go to work. Okay, if I were a governor of a state and I had this situation, I'd do the same thing. I'd do the same thing that Ron DeSantis is doing. I would cut off their public assistance immediately. I'd tell them like this: you got 6 months to find work. After 6 months, if you don't find work, we're cutting you off completely. That means we're gonna make you like go sink or swim. That's it, and that's how I would do it, man. I would tell them. I would tell them like this: you take the vaccine, you go back to work. Simple as that. And if they don't take the vaccine, then you cut them off from public assistance and the COVID assistance, and then you make them sink or swim. Simple as that, guys. I would do that within a heartbeat. I would I would do that so fast that that the people who are staying at home, who are being rewarded to stay at home by the Democrats, they would take the vaccine within 2 seconds and they'd be out looking for work because they know that like they don't want that like they want to be like incentivized to work instead of incentivized to be lazy. Okay, so that's why, guys. That's why I, today's podcast, it got me angry that I had to see this. Okay, I had to see that like the stimulus package that the Democrats have been pushing is creating laziness. It's creating a generation of people who are so damn lazy that they don't even want to do the damn work anymore. And it kind of gets me mad and it kind of gets me angry, okay? And I basically, guys, basically, guys, I'm I'm fired up. I'm all like angry that the stimulus package was originally designed to help people get through this pandemic. And then once the vaccine rolled out, that should have been a signal that, okay, now roll up your sleeve, take the vaccine and go back to work. But instead, the Democrats are like not pushing the vaccine and are incentivizing people to stay home and be lazy, okay? So anyway, guys, thanks for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now.